Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry it was a bit of a late start, so let's get started. As some of you already know, my name is Muchaneta Kapfunde. I gave this morning a lecture, and today I'm going to give another lecture on the new textiles economy. Oh, go this one. The new textiles economy. When you hear those words, they sound kind of sexy, like you kind of wonder what exactly it means. Basically, it's about outlining a new vision for the textiles industry, setting out ambitions and actions that we can push forward. One of the companies that has basically been outlining the idea of a new textiles economy is the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. So I'm just going to play you this video quickly just to kind of give you a really good overview of what it means.
When it comes to fashion, if it looks great, it should be worn. If it's by our skin, it should be safe. And when it's worn out, it shouldn't be wasted. Sounds like common sense, right? But that's not how it is today. 1 truckload of clothing is being burned or landfilled every second. Mountains of clothes are stuck in warehouses and at the bottom of our wardrobes. And less than 1% of used clothing is turned back into new clothes. Globally, it's costing us billions of dollars every year. This shouldn't be the price of looking and feeling good. People's demands and expectations are changing. It's time the fashion industry changes too. To thrive in the future, we need a fashion industry made up of 3 elements. Business models that keep clothes in use for longer, like sharing, swapping, rental, repair, and resale. Materials that are safe and renewable, so our clothes do not release microfibers that pollute our oceans, and making them does not destroy local ecosystems. Solutions, so used clothes are turned into new, designing and making clothes so the materials can be used again and again and again. It's a new ambition for a fashion industry where clothes never become waste. There's so much that brands can do now, but no organization can shift the system alone. Make Fashion Circular brings together people across the entire industry to develop new solutions, scale the ones that work, and build a fashion industry that's beautiful, inside and out.
When I first watched that video, I thought, ooh, that sounds like a great kind of world to live in, one where everyone's very conscious of their decisions. And I feel like this is what the new kind of textile economy is based on. It's about making much more better conscious decisions and taking into account what it means when you create a product. We've all heard about millennials and Gen Z, and people have their own opinions of what they're doing and what they're asking us to do for them. It's been said that they have been the drivers of this new movement, and they're the ones that are pushing forward change. I personally think, rather than look at it as a generational thing, we all as an industry need to think about how we're going to redesign this system, how we're going to change this textile industry and how we do business. So I came across this rather magnificent kind of thing that shows you how we can go about doing this. It's all about reassessing how we do business. So if you take a look at new business models, this is a word that's been uttered quite a few times in the last 12 months. New business models, new business models. But what exactly does it mean? New business models are a way for us to conduct business in a different way to how we do it now. So it makes us a lot more conscious about how we make our decisions, a lot more conscious about new materials, looking at how we actually sell our product, the kind of information and transparency that we give to our consumer. Also, a lot of companies are trying to focus on being more safer and also using renewable energy. So this is another way of creating this new textiles economy. As some of you might already know, there's a lot of solutions being developed to help businesses move forward in this direction and become a little bit more circular. And for those businesses that I like to describe as being woke, they are basically turning to all these solutions over here like this one right here, that helps them be able to reach their goals and objectives, and not only reach their goals and objectives, but actually stay in it long term. So I'm going to play you this video here that kind of gives you an idea of how to harness innovation within the textile industry.
So we've developed technologies that are now remaking plastics. We've developed technologies that are remaking cosmetics. And the latest area of innovation that we're bringing forward is technology that we hope will soon be remaking nylon. Everybody knows nylon, and nylon from running shorts to nylon carpets. There's even a lot of nylon in your car. It's everywhere. And that nylon is actually made from crude oil as a feedstock to make a chemical called caprolactam. The challenge with the nylons is that the process to make them is not very sustainable. A bio-based renewable caprolactam means a 100% bio-based nylon. So imagine all those same products, but now made sustainably with renewable materials, renewable ingredients and feedstocks. So we started off our journey of developing that technology by bringing on board a fantastic partner and a real champion of sustainability, a company called Aquafil, with a very real, very tangible business in nylons. And that's where our technology comes in. Just like we did in other technologies for other chemicals before, in butanediol and in butylene glycol, we're now doing for caprolactam. We've now expanded that most recently with a Project Effective, an EU-based program that brings together a number of stakeholders in the value chain, including a number of key brand owners like H&M and Vaude, as well as Carvico, Balsan, crossing both apparel and in the carpet industry, where these brands recognize the need to see innovations like what we're developing get developed, come forward, and help reshape these value chains to make them more sustainable. This is one of the most exciting programs that we have going on today at Genomatica, another tremendous innovation we seek to bring to the market. We're looking for people to join in helping us to reshape this value chain. There's a lot of opportunities to get engaged, whether it's consumers of nylon, producers of nylon, brand owners who want to help reshape a more sustainable world.
So what are the two key takeaways you should take from that video? I think the first one you need to take is that they found a way to remake nylon. This means that we are giving people a material that you are very familiar with already. We're just making it a lot more sustainable. The second key takeaway from that is the fact that the gentleman kept talking about partnering up and collaborating. No one has the answers to the problems that we're trying to solve today. But if we all work together and collaborate, then we're more likely to find better solutions that will benefit everybody. So how can we transform the textiles economy? What I did, I decided to put together some quotes that I came across. And the quotes that I've picked are ones that have made me really think about how this textile economy can come about. So this one here is, brands will be challenged to become more radical on how they behave and what type of materials they use. When I read this quote, I thought of the company Pangaea, which I'm sure some of you are already familiar with. The reason why I put Pangaea as an example of this particular quote is because I feel like they're super open to working with new materials. They're not afraid to try new innovations and to put those forward. And this is why.
When plastic strikes Earth, you feel a shiver, knowing that it is artificially coating our sea. Products, plastic, pollution, take, make, dispose. At Pangaea, we believe it is time to reverse this cycle. From the unnatural to the natural, from plastic to plants, from synthetic yarn to seaweed yarn, from goose down to flower down, from the new to the recycled. This is where the new normal begins, using renewable and alternative resources,
using bio and lab-grown materials to create the 2.0 version of your everyday basics. This is where products have a second life, sustainably produced, sustainably consumed, transparent, zero waste, and circular. At Pangaia, we have decided that all our technologies will be open source. It is a decision made with a hope that Pangaia will act as a platform for positive change. It is a hope built on science and inspired by nature. Pangaia joins many people from many countries, united as a global collective of one heart and many hands, designing a better future for our one and only planet Earth.
So when you look at that quote, you realize that Pangaia are very conscious of how they behave. They're very conscious of the type of materials that they use to create their products. And that is why I kind of partnered what they're up to with this particular type of quote. Also, they're accountable. And this is the word that I feel is missing when you look at the textile industry and you also look at the fashion industry, accountability. The next quote is, "There is no silver bullet. Rather, there'll be a combination of a lot of small innovation and a few radical changes." And I've used the Ellen MacArthur Foundation as an example of this particular quote.
Our generation lives in a paradox. On one hand, we love to express our style and creativity online. On the other, we want to reduce all the production waste that has a negative impact on the environment. A paradox caused by the unwritten rule that we can't be seen online in the same outfit twice. So how do we secure a better future while maintaining our creative output online? With a digital clothing collection, a series of virtually fitted fashion items that you only wear in digital space. This is how it works. First, you take a picture, you choose a product from the web shop, before a 3D tailor adjusts the product to your image. Now, your outfit is ready to be shared on social media. This is a new way of expressing our fashion creativity without leaving a negative footprint on the world.
I use this as an example because I feel like for some people this is a radical change. For me, it's a small innovation. I feel like it's something that we should have adopted a long time ago. For some companies, going digital is radical, but it is the way forward. In the new textile economy, it's going to be something that if you don't become digitalized, you'll most likely be left behind. The next quote is, "There is no shortcut to sustainability. Getting the basics right is critical." I like this quote because I think it gets straight down to the point. There's no way anyone can be 100% sustainable. It's not possible. But it is possible to be a little bit sustainable and improve with time as it goes by. And Chain Point showcases this really well. Oh, then it didn't play. So, oh, okay. Sorry, guys, there's no video. So let's just move on to the next one. A lot depends on having the right partners. I mentioned this earlier, that a lot of the change that we are looking to make within the textiles industry requires all of us to partner together and bring change forward. Fashion for Good is a good example of that. It's an Amsterdam-based company that is all about bringing startups together with the big boys in the business. What I like about Fashion for Good is that they do push forward a lot of innovation that a lot of fashion businesses are completely unaware of, and bringing that to our attention. What it all comes down to is that it's not a race to the top. We are not pushing innovation in a way that says, if I do it first, therefore I am going to be the more considered forward thinking. No, it's all about working together to create an economy that benefits all, not just the people at the top. So I want to leave you with some of these points that I thought were really, really good. Apparel brands and retailers need to embrace social purpose as a core to their missions and business models. What I'm basically mean when I'm saying this, it means that it should be something that you put into your core of your objectives and your business plan. It shouldn't be an afterthought. Sustainability and thinking about how society works, it should definitely always be part of your business plan. Accountability and transparency, my two favorite words. It's very hard for the fashion industry to be accountable. Or to be transparent. As many of you know, they're quite secretive, and then when they are accountable and transparent, it's usually on their own terms. So I do feel like we need to create a new economy where people can be transparent and then be okay, and also be accountable. And being accountable does not mean that, that you cannot right your wrongs. It means that you are accepting the fact that this has been done in an incorrect manner, and now you're trying to find a solution that works better. Scaling up new technology to support sustainable sourcing. I feel like there's not much going on in terms of investment when it comes to new technologies. I think there could be a lot more being done. I write a lot about new technologies and startups and what they're up to, and a lot of them have complained that there's very little support when it comes for them pushing forward their innovation, and I think that's where we fail as an industry. If you look at other industries such as the sports industry, even the military, they're all about supporting innovation. They're all about having that R&D department, to kind of push forward a new way of doing business. And when you look at the fashion and textile industry, we don't do this. We need to find a way of supporting these new innovations, and by supporting them, we're then able to scale them. I think I missed one. Building true collaboration with suppliers. Having that relationship. That's what's important, and that's what the new economy will most likely be built on. As most of you probably know, I'm sure you all have your own relationships with your suppliers and so forth. It's built on that kind of trust and understanding. So I think it will still hold true, even with all the innovation taking place. Co-investment, I think I touched on investing. It's all about long-term planning. A lot of people like the idea of innovating, but they very rarely stick to it. It ends up being more of a sprint than a marathon, and I think that's where a problem is. We need not to change for the sake of changing. We need to actually change because we believe this is the way forward. So what is the new textile economy? I personally think it should be about what I've put out there. So it's about transparency. It's about kind of animal welfare, fair wages, resources, recycled materials, all the things that I've put out there is what, for me, will make a really good textile economy. And that's it. So thank you very much. Has anyone got any questions? Any questions from anyone at all? Just to let you all know, I'm happy to share the slides, and I went through it really quickly, but I was very much aware of the time. So if you'd like to actually have an email for me to send you this via email, I'm happy to do so you can kind of look at it at your own leisure. Thank you very much.